Hello and welcome to the newspaper review here on TAP TV. This is where we get to discuss with people on the street, members of the street. We get to see their reactions as regards headlines making rounds on the papers. This is the newspaper review, and my name is Obed Jerry, your host for today. And yes, you can also be a part of this show by subscribing to our channel. If you are yet to subscribe, turn on your notification button. Connect with us also across all our social media platforms so that when we drop videos like this, you get to see our notifications. Well, before we discuss with people on the street, let's first look into the stories and see what the headlines look like. Today being 27th March, Wednesday, 2024. We see at the Punch newspaper, the first story here says, Tinubu to vet Foreign Affairs Ministry ambassadorial list. Details of this story is found on page 7. NCC insists on SIM NIN deadline. Telcos bar lines Friday. Details of this story is found on page 22. Unemployment responsible for rising banditry. Kidnapping. Details of this story is found on page 22. This story was said by former President Obasanjo. All right, in the main story here, we could see as headline says, CBN, EFCC probe banks, firms over alleged forex racketeering. Sub-story under that reads, CBN implements Deloitte FX audit report. EFCC may summon CEOs over $2.4 billion invalid request. Another sub-story under that reads, several FX requests fraudulent, made with invalid illegal documents. Cardoso insists. Detail of the story is found on page 2. We see here it says, NSCDC uncovers massive illegal refineries with 26 reservoirs. Details is found on page 7. Fubara receives Wike's ally, says I won't be a dictator. Details is found on page 30. NFIU uncovers IPOB's US sales, $160,000 payments. Details is found on page 7. Slain soldiers for burial today. Military demands killers capture. Details of the story is found on page 30. May the souls of these fallen heroes rest well. All right, that's all we'll be taking on the Punch newspaper. And moving on, we'll be looking at the Nation's newspaper. We could see here it says, NACON in talks with Saudi authorities over Hajj visa shortage. Details is found on page 3. Labour Party convention holds today in Nnewi. Sub-story under that reads, NLC can't stop us. Details is found on page 4. Mba signs bill for establishment of teaching hospital. Details is found on page 26. We see at the main story here it reads, troops raid Clark's home in search of soldiers, killers. Troops raid Clark home in search of soldiers, killers. Details of the story is found on page 3. NSCDC arrests 5 at illegal oil bunkering sites in Rivers. And that's all we'll be taking on the Nation's newspaper. And lastly for today, we'll be looking at the Daily Trust newspaper. We could see here it says, we must treat kidnappers as terrorists, says Tinubu. Details of the story is found on page 6. 17 slain soldiers for burial in Abuja today. Details is found on page 6. Kano governor nominates Kwankwaso's son, sacked commissioner for cabinet appointment. Details is found on page 10. At the main story here, it says, 60 hours after, Kuriga students here to reunite with families. Sub-story under that reads, we are eager to have them back home, says parents. They are undergoing psychotherapy, says government. Details of the story is found on page 4. IPOB funding terrorism through sport betting platforms, crowdfunding, says federal government. Details of the story is found on page 6. Chinese sentenced to death for killing Nigerian girlfriend in Kano. A very sad one. Details of the story is found on page 16. Gumi, I discussed how to call banditry with security agencies. Details of the story is found on page 23. And lastly, you can see here it says, amid soaring inflation, CBN raises benchmark lending rate to 24.7%. And that's all we'll be taking on the Daily Trust newspaper. Now let's get to see the reactions of people on the streets. Let's get to hear what they have to say as regards these headlines. Stay tuned. All right, good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
Welcome. I would like your thoughts on the Punch newspaper that says unemployment responsible for rising banditry, kidnapping, said by the former President Obasanjo.
Yes, really. What is there is that if there is no employment for the youth, understand, the youth, they don't have something to do. That one can propel them to do illegal something like this banditry system. Understand? So please let government do something that is good, then at least prepare job for youth, for them to work. At least bring companies, because when there is companies, when there are companies, people will work. Yes, job opportunities for the youth. But I'm not, I'm not supporting them for what they are doing. But at least the youths are suffering. Exactly. Youths are suffering. Okay, look at now. For example, the border, they should open border. When they open border, things will come in from different countries. Then Things will coming from different countries. Look at now motor. If you go to buy motor now, motor the price is so exorbitant. People don't have money to afford motor. What of bicycle? The same thing. What of motorcycles? The same thing. What of food? Please.
And even transport.
Yes, transport. Things are so skyrocketing.
But now, on that angle of opening border, which is a very good one, that will make prices of goods be cheaper in Nigeria. If they open border, we know how Nigerians do. They would overuse this privilege. Sometimes they start importing inferior goods and contraband goods also.
No, I don't think that they will just import or these inferior things. But when they import goods, understand, the price of things will reduce. People will enjoy, at least the masses will enjoy, understand. So a situation whereby they don't open the borders, people will continue to suffer. Understand? Okay, now, for example, we talk of refineries. Since they say that the refinery will open, they don't open it. Look at Port Harcourt refineries. And we have a lot of things. Short, Nigeria, we are rich, but our top politicians make us to suffer. That's what I can say. I cannot hide anything. My name is Engineer Paul Udofia from Akwa Ibom State. That's what I'm saying. So if I have opportunity to be governor, or anything, things will be okay. That's the place. I'm just, I'm just begging the government, at least, to do something better, because it's not a situation whereby we have things, then we are still suffering. Exactly. And I'm telling you, it's not good. At least it doesn't make sense. Please, I'm pleading. Tinubu, you are our president. We love you. Already you have money. You have money. Use your initiative to do something so that your people will be happy. And once we are happy, the glory will just belong to you.
Exactly.
That's that.
Okay, now seeing how Nigeria is at the moment, seeing how transport system is high, importation of food is cost, every hardship in the country and insecurity, do you think there is hope for Nigeria anytime soon?
I believe that there is hope. There is nothing God cannot do. Since the president promised us that we should at least exercise patience, I believe that. So what I believe is that since Apabio is there, since Apabio, you showed Apabio. Yes, since Apabio is there, I believe in you. Because when you were governor of Akwa Ibom State, you did something. And even in my village, you have done something. The person that is talking to you now is your in-law. Paul Urofia is talking to you. I know what Apabio can do. Even Wike, can you be there with Tinubu and Apabio? That you people don't tell Tinubu what to do. No. I know what people can do. But at the moment, any moment from now, the price of commodities will come down and people will enjoy. That's what I believe.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you too. Thank you.
All right, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome. I would like your thoughts on the Punch newspaper that says unemployment responsible for rising banditry, kidnapping, says former President Obasanjo.
It's not too far from the truth, because if you check out very well, every day people are graduating from schools and yet there is no job. So what do you expect? People will have to find a way to feed their stomach now. When a man is hungry, he's angry, so he can do anything to just survive. So all of these kidnapping and banditry in the north, the one that even happened in Delta of recent, it's all about unemployment. So it's not too far away from the truth of what Obasanjo is saying.
But we know that it's only even in that northern area that records higher level of kidnapping and banditry. Why they record low level of going to school?
That's the thing,
So
because
it's more like a deliberate act.
most times the people there, they don't want to embrace education. So you find out that people, they just take to crime. They want to find a short way out, the shortcut to making it in life, and that's not always the best option. But what I have to say is that everybody should just try and help his or herself, because crime has never been a way forward.
Exactly.
Crime has never been the way out of any situation. Because if you commit a crime today, you must do the time.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
But now let's look at how Nigeria is at the moment. See how hardship is thriving. See the price of petrol. See the price of food. See the insecurity level. Do you think there's hope for Nigeria?
So long as there's life, there's hope. So I would say there's hope for Nigeria, because we are still living. The only thing that a living soul has is hope. So there's hope for Nigeria. It's just that everybody, all hands has to be on deck for us to do the right thing. That's just it.
Now, seeing how the president is going about his plans since when he was put in office till today, do you think the plan would help Nigerians in few months to come?
Not few months though, but at least let's just be patient and keep waiting, and we are working towards getting a better
But there is
Nigeria.
hope for his plans to help Nigerians positively.
Of course, yeah.
All right, thank you very
All
much.
right, thank you.
All right, you heard what have been discussed here. You've seen what people on the streets have to say as regard these headlines making rounds on the papers. If you have anything to add to it or you have a counter opinion, please slide to our comment section. Of course, your comments and your opinions matter a lot to us. Yes, you can also subscribe to our channel if you are yet to subscribe. Turn on your notification button. Connect with us across all our social media platforms. My name is Obed Jerry, your host for today, and this has been the newspaper review here on TAP TV. See you next time.